You're all welcome to Insight Today. Part 2 of the program will be looking at challenges men are faced with modern day households. Now, we know that the stress men face during difficult times, especially when it comes to providing for their families, can be immense and multifaceted. Men often experience pressure from societal expectations, financial responsibilities, and personal aspirations. Do you think their ego gets in the way? Well, we'll just wait and see. Well, the burden of being the primary provider can weigh heavily on their mental and emotional well-being. Now, this stress can manifest in various ways, such as anxiety, depression, feelings of inadequacy, and strained relationships. We know that men feel they need to suppress their emotions and appear strong, which can further exacerbate their stress. And the fear of not being able to meet financial obligations or support their loved ones can create a significant amount of pressure. Additionally, external factors like job instability, economic challenges, and societal norms about masculinity can add to the stress men endure during hard times. You're welcome to Insight Today. I am Jumai Manson. I am being joined by men in the midst right now, and am I scared? No. One is Mr. Ezema James. He is an entrepreneur. And of course, Lugard Okonibo. He is the Director General, Nigerian Women Economic Development Project. He was here yesterday as we go into part 2 of this particular issue. Don't go anywhere. The program continues shortly.
Get ready for it. Insight Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumai Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and it repeats every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out. Get ready for it. Insight Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumai Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and it repeats every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out. Get ready for it. Insight Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumai Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday.
You're welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Insight Today, and we're looking at a very emotional topic. It's all about the modern day life, tackling challenges men are faced with. And yes, this is the part 2. If you followed up from yesterday, I was joined by one of our guests who is here, Lugard Okonibo, and he is here with our guest also with Mr. Ezema James, and he's in the studio with me to discuss about men's affairs. Okay, so I'm just privileged to be in your midst today. How you all doing? You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Ezema, and of course, Mr. Lugard, thank you for being a part of the program again today.
Thank you for having me.
I wanted to create a balance. I wanted a woman to be here in our midst, Mrs. Ayo Awe, but she's just indisposed. But I'm sure when we talk about this, if it's going to linger again, she will definitely be on the program. Now, they say, men, you're all going through a lot of stress. Let me start with you, Mr. Ezema. Tell me, what stress are you all going through?
Well, men are like the endangered species.
Okay.
In relationships, because they are the ones that everybody look up to provide for everything. So it is they are the only ones that people want to see, look at them and feel that they should they don't have any pains, they don't have any stress, they don't, so everything is working fine for them. So there's no need for them to be maybe, women, they want to be somebody that will pet them, but they don't know that men even need it more because of the kind of stress that men go through every day as things go. So men have been neglected. Men affairs have been neglected for a long time.
Oh, wow. But it's your responsibility. You are the head. You're the man. You don't want anyone to drag that position with you. So why are you saying it's stress? Is it providing for the family? Is it stress?
It's not about being the head. That you are the head does not imply that you are the only one that have to bear the responsibility. It's just like saying that as a president of a country is only him that will do all the works that needed to be done. No, there are people that are part of the. The family is like a government. There's a head, yes, but that doesn't mean that all other parts of the family government will not function. So each parts have to function for the family to move smoothly. Otherwise, we will end up remaining where we are suffering in silence as men.
Before I move over to Mr. Lugard, I know you have a lot to say because you said a lot yesterday. In fact, you said about how some women will actually escalate the prices and tell their husbands that is the amount in the market. But I would tell you for free as a woman, there's some women who, like you said, from the creation of time have been their helpmate. They've done a lot when it comes to trying to balance, trying to help their husbands. But you have a different perspective. It's okay, we understand. Men always have their egos. I will not drag or say anything. But there was a research, something happened 2 days ago, and some women, there was like a research that went out, and it was two things. Would you rather prefer your husband to go with the 100 million naira, or you take 1 million naira or 100 million naira? Some women came out and said they should give their husbands 100 million naira. Why? Because she knows that she's going to benefit from it, because they will come together and partner as one. So now, do you think, and now let me throw that question to you, Mr. Lugard, do you think some women, they do not want to work hand in hand? Remember we mentioned it is your money is our money. And then my money is my money, and then your money is our money, right? So do you think there's some women that do not have that mindset to come together to work in this present time to balance the equation of the hardship of the economy?
Wow. Yeah, well, I will say that we all come from different upbringing. And the society we are today, something is lacking, and that is the issue of counseling. If one is well counseled, you find out that we'll be prepared for the future. What counseling does is to prepare our minds mentally, psychologically, and even spiritually for the future. And so when a woman decides to go into a matrimonial home, there are a lot of things that needs to come together to now understand that, I'm leaving my father, my mother to join the man, and two of us are going to build a family. And so I would not totally agree that some women are not prepared, because even if you look at the current situation in the country, not even under Bola Ahmed Tinubu's regime, as far back as early 90s, you find out that things begin to dwindle down. Families you see young girls who want to say, they need to be established, they need to have this. They don't want to go through this. They have seen what people are going through in marriage, young ones like them, and they have also seen what some of their parents passed through. So that factor put together now begins to help to shaping our mind on the issue of, oh, a woman who wants to go into marriage will now be prepared. I can tell you for free, it is very, very difficult for you to see a woman today that will say, he just wants to go in and become an housewife. Very, very difficult.
But the truth is, Lugard, I think it's all in the mind, really.
Yeah.
Sometimes a woman can be matured outwardly when it comes to age, the right age for marriage, but mentally, psychologically, she might not be prepared. Coming from her father's house, she has everything in abundance, and now she's married to a man who she has to struggle with. Don't you think that is a factor in that marriage that will make things not turn out the way he wants? Don't you think he should try and be more understanding that, hey, you have to explain it to her, don't you think?
Well, that's the transferred lapses from the parents, because I've seen parents that are very well-to-do, and they've decided to train up their children in the right way. To say, look, yes, by providence, I have this asset, but that doesn't mean you should fold your legs and fold your hands and begin to look at your father's property. So we have instances like that. So, except someone who just wants to be so lackadaisical about life. But I want to say, when life really tells on such person, he will begin to reason very well. Because in our society, you know, we have some tribes in Nigeria today that when a woman goes out, the woman is told from the day of the marriage that you no longer have a space in this house. Even if the father has mansion, businesses all over the world. But on that particular day, once he does his traditional marriage, they will tell her, oh, you have packed your load, your bag of baggage, there's no more space for you in this house.
Yes.
What that tells, it's not saying that you don't have a space to sleep or maybe there's no room, no. But simply letting you know that as you go, you are not coming back. So if one begin to have that orientation, not on the day of the marriage or wedding per se, the person begins to prepare her mind psychologically. So you're asking that question is a throwback to our families now, that we should begin to groom our young girls. I thank God I'm managing a project that involves women. And one of the things we always say, every young girl today is a potential woman tomorrow.
Definitely.
And so we begin to tell you what women are likely going to pass through. The father you see today, tomorrow you marry another man, and if the man dies, you become a widow. So don't just think, oh, you have all the father and your father's property. But when you become a widow, what one pass through, maybe a widow that before he comes out of the inner room, most things are gone, then you find that all this built up together to prepare us. Because you will be prepared psychologically. What if tomorrow? Nobody expects. Death is inevitable. If a husband dies, what happens?
All right, now I want to ask a very serious question now. Now let's put every sentiment aside.
Yeah.
How can women make it better? How can we make it better to ease your stress? Well, you know what, let's quickly go on a very quick break, and then when we come back, I'll be throwing that question to Mr. Ezema. Let's go on a quick break. Insight Today continues shortly.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumaine Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and they repeat every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out. Get ready.
Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Inside Today, and we're looking at the challenges men are faced with in this modern day life. And I'm not doing it alone. I have Mr. Lugard here, and of course I have Mr. Ezema also here in the building with me. You're welcome, gentlemen. You are welcome. So me representing the women, I hope I'm very polite because when we were like off camera, you said something. This is part of what the men feel. I don't know. I don't understand. What stress are the women giving you all that? It is so much that you cannot function, or what is the problem? And how can we make it better? What do you want us to do?
You see, sometimes some women are not understanding, you know. So it's understanding that men would actually need from women. Because most times you see, like what we're talking about, that you see people kind of carry over what the experiences they had in their father's house into their new home, and they want to be making comparison. My father, when I was in my father's house, I used to eat 3 square meals, and I am here now, and I can only afford 1 or 2. You know, there are comparisons like my father used to buy this for me, and here now that I am, you are not buying anything for me. So things like that will keep recurring.
Mr. Ezema, I want to come in this particular issue that you just mentioned. Don't you think a man should be ready financially, emotionally, physically, psychologically, before you think of marriage? And then, because you guys are turning, there's this term you say, women are giving you stress, women are giving you stress. Don't you think you should have all of these qualities before you delve into marriage? Don't you think so? So she won't complain.
You see, the truth of it is that there is no formula to it. Because I've seen people who had it all before they got married, and after they got married, things started going down below what they expected. So life is about up and downs, and when it happened, it's just for somebody to understand and say, this is how the situation is today, believing that tomorrow things will be better. So we shouldn't have a preconceived mindset and say this is how the thing should be, and that's how it must be. Sometimes life changes, the situation changes, and when it happens, we have to understand and say that okay, let us come together, look at the current situation. What is it that we are lacking here or lacking there, and how can we make it better? I think it's a better than to now be making comparisons.
No, I want to come in there. When you said how can, and Mr. Lugard, I really want you to come here. Don't worry. I think I'm competent to speak for some of the women.
Okay.
You know, you mentioned life. I understand life, believe me.
Yeah.
Now, when a woman is not understanding, I feel, this is my own opinion, at the beginning, just like Mr. Ezema said, when things were rosy and all of that, how was he? Was he giving? Was he caring? Was he an open book? My wife, this is what I earned today. If she asks, can I have this? He won't tell her, oh no, I have 1 car I want to buy. I have 1 this. He does he give excuses, or he gives immediately? So when things start going sour, I think that's most of the problems that is happening in marriages now, because the man wasn't open, maybe he wasn't giving, he wasn't caring, and now that things are not going the way it ought to go, you want her to be understanding. Are you being fair? Really, because you're the men here. Please don't keep quiet. Defend yourselves.
See, when you look at it all depends on what what the situation is throwing at you as a person. Because you cannot say that because whether he was providing or not providing, all those things, those are relative matters.
But it comes into play. It comes
no,
into play.
They are relative matters, because
but the truth is,
as long as the man is providing as much as he can, some women may not feel that he's doing well enough. So it all depends on the woman know, to say, oh, this man had been trying. Let me, understand with him at this time. So, but it all depends, because some women are not the same. There are some that they can come and tell you that what are you even self-providing, when you are already stressing yourself, trying to bleed yourself to produce, to provide for the family, and the woman is comparing what the situation is now with what he used to have in the family when he was with his parents, with her parents. So those kind of situations, they come to play and they cause conflict within the home. So that is just the problem.
Okay. All right. Because of our time, Mr. Lugard, now, how can we relieve how can the women relieve your stress? Because it's part of the challenges in 3 seconds.
The first thing I would say, one, not all women give pain, stress.
Good.
Don't forget that I manage a project that involves women. And I can tell you, prior to this time, I could have my phone. Most of the people are youth and students because of my cycle. But today, my wife have decided to, she has adjusted that out of every 10 calls, maybe 6 are from one woman or the other because of the cycle which I work. Now, that's, for me, is to let you know that not all women give stress to men.
Good.
Number 2, I also feel, before we begin to talk about understanding, you have to communicate. So the understanding that the man wants from the woman or the woman wants from the man is a function of communication. So there must be constant communication for harmony to exist. If there is constant communication
From the beginning,
even at the midway, when you now understand yourself, because you have two characters. When you are cutting, there are certain things you hide. You don't want the man to know, and the man also hides some. If the man is the type that is very dirty, we clean the room because he knows that the babe is coming. And if the babe knows that the guy is coming, he tries to arrange everywhere and look very neat. But when they marry, all the things they've kept somewhere, they begin to bring them like demorage. They all begin to bring them back. So, for that reason, we need to understand first the psychology of the man and the psychology of the woman. That is very important.
Okay.
That way, we'll be able to manage ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Ezema, do you have anything to say in 1 minute?
Yeah, I think it is, like he said, it's about communication, and the communication also depends. Sometimes certain communication is not only when you speak or talk. There are other ways of communicating, but it boils down to the same issue that in a home, for everything to work, there should be elements of communication.
Yes. All right, you just heard from our guest, but first of all, I want to appreciate Mr. Lugard Okoligbo for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. And yes, he is the Director General, Nigerian Women Economic Development Project. Thank you so much for being a part of Insight today. And of course, Mr. Ezema James, thank you. He is an entrepreneur and, of course, an analyst. Thank you so much for being a part of the program to talk about the challenges men are faced with in this present-day economy. In quote, women are the ones giving you people stress, right?
No, not at all.
Very good.
So women are taking stress away from us.
Yeah, that's it.
I like the sound.
If you stay within the political cycle, they will tell you that you need a stress reliever, all manner of jargons.
Okay.
Yes, of course. So,
all right, with that, I have to wrap it up on the program Insight today. And you just heard, communication is very important when it comes in any relationship. Of course, we know what the economy is saying. Men, women, try to strike a balance. It's very important that the woman understands with the man and the man understands with the woman. You know, the high cost of living. A lot of things are very expensive in the market. So you men here, are you listening? A lot of things are expensive. So just try and strike a balance. Try as much as possible to be prudent when you can. Do not escalate the price. Please help the men. They are going through a lot. They are providers, caregivers, but at the same time, they are the head of the family, and yes, they should be supported in one way or the other. Thank you all for being a part of Insight today. I am Jumai Manson. Join me same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.